Hey everyone, Happy New Year! So in today's video, I'm going to show you how to make a window style card like this in Procreate. I made some templates for the cards and envelopes that you can download for free in the description. There's 12 templates in total, but you probably only need 2 of them to make a card, and this video will explain everything about that. The first thing I need to do is create some artwork for the card. Since my channel is mostly about painting watercolor in Procreate, I'm going to paint a simple watercolor scene using the Alpine Forest brushes and the Forester paper texture. I have a few tutorials about painting scenes like this, and I'll link them in the description. Now, our final artwork needs to be on a 5x7 card that'll fit inside that envelope, and right now it's basically just a random artboard size, so we need to kind of cut this down. So the first thing I'm going to do is export this and just save it as a JPEG image somewhere on my iPad. Then I'm going to go to my gallery page and I'm going to make a totally new Procreate canvas. Now, in different parts of the world, your printer is set up for a different size of paper. So if you're in the US, your printer is probably set up for 8.5 by 11. If you're in the rest of the world, it's probably set up for A4 paper. So make sure you create a new document that matches the paper size that your printer is set up for. So I'm going to use A4. And this is the point where you can download and use the first of the templates. So if you look in the description of this video, there are basically 2 different categories of templates. There's templates for A4 paper and templates for letter size paper. So again, make sure you only use the templates from the size that matches your paper. And start by downloading the one that's called the card template. It's just the single-sided 5x7 card template. And I've already downloaded it here on my iPad. And I'm going to place it in by going to Add, Insert a Photo, and then it's this one here. And again, this is not the envelope. This is just for the 5x7 card. And it shows us kind of like the relative size and then where we need to cut it out so it ends up being exactly the right size. And once we've got the template placed in, we can place in and position our artwork. So again, I'm going to go to the wrench, Add, Insert a Photo, and then here's the artwork that we just exported. And you can see it's covering up basically the whole template. It's just on a layer above. So I'm going to change the transparency mode to multiply. And this allows us to kind of see through our artwork and the template. And I'm going to use that to basically position our artwork somewhere on the 5x7 card. There we go. I think that's pretty good. Now, the artwork extends way beyond the actual card size, and there's no reason to print that out. You can if you want to, but to save ink, I'm going to delete that. So to do that, I'm going to use the selection tool set to rectangle. And I'm just going to select basically up to that dotted line. And then I'll tap on that and clear. And just to show you how to do that again here, I'll use the rectangle selection tool. I'll select just up to the edge of the template and then clear it. And I'll do that to all 4 sides. And once our artwork is arranged to fit within that 5x7 kind of outline, we need to print it. Now, my printer is not set up to work over Wi-Fi, so I can't print directly from my iPad. I need to airdrop it to my laptop first. So I'm going to do that by going to the wrench, share, I'll share it as a JPEG, and just airdrop it like that. And here's what it looks like on my laptop. Now, in the last video where we made the folding card, I showed you how to print from Photoshop, and this time I'm just going to print directly from the image preview so you can see how to do it in case you don't have Photoshop. So I'll just go to File and Print like normal, and in order to make sure it's printing at the right size, I need to make sure that the settings down here are set to Scale to Fit, and then Fill Entire Paper. And then I'll just click Print. And here's the result. I think it turned out pretty good. I think for a single-sided card, you need to use pretty thick paper. So I used some 270 GSM watercolor paper. It was really cheap, but it still has a nice feeling to it. Next, we're going to cut it out, and that's pretty simple. You just have to make sure you use the crop marks and not the dotted lines. And you can see that this makes it kind of get cut just on the inside of the dotted lines. and that's so they don't show up on the edge of the finished card. And once the card is cut out, you can finally choose which envelope you want to use for it. There are 5 different choices for each of the window shapes. Just make sure you choose the template that fits your paper size, whether it's A4 or US letter. For this card, I'm going to use the rounded arch design, and I'll print it out on some regular warm-toned cardstock paper. All of the envelope templates have colored lines, so make sure you just cut on the red lines and fold on the blue ones. And to start, I'm just going to use a ruler and a knife to cut all the red lines first. Of course, the archway is a little more difficult, but as long as you have a sharp knife, it's not really that hard. Now, to make folding it easier, I like to use this steel bolt to sort of emboss the blue lines. When I use this along the ruler, it presses down the paper and makes it so that the paper folds exactly in the right place. It's a little hard to see it, but it leaves a dented area along the line. And once all that's done, I can finish it up by folding the envelope and doing a kind of dry fit to make sure it's right. Then I can use a little bit of UHU glue on the flaps. This glue is just like E600 glue, I think, but it's a lot more watery and it dries really fast. Sometimes it can shift a little bit while it's drying, so I recommend pressing it flat with a book for about 10 minutes. And there we go, this one fits perfectly. If yours is too tight, you can always trim the card a tiny bit. Once again, all the designs and templates that I used for this are linked for free in the description, and you can use them for commercial projects, you can use them on Etsy or wherever, it's totally fine. And that pretty much wraps it up. If you think I've earned it, please give this video a like, and I'll see you in the next video.